So I'll pick up where I stopped the other time. So I was explaining the weaknesses of the dependable fraud, the systematic fraud, that they are hard to satisfy, they withdraw, and they are very critical on themselves and on people around them. They find it hard to also forgive, and they internalize conflict. Now, this is a typical personality assessment. Can you all see my screen? Hello? Can you see my screen? Hello? Hello? Can I still be heard? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you see my
Yes,
screen?
ma'am. No, I'm not. I'm
You
not
cannot.
seeing it.
Okay, let me check
Yes.
again. I'm sharing the personality assessment here for us to see what it looks like. And I think I'm going to share with us, it's part of the assessment for today. Once you see it, kindly go through the assessment. It will then help us to be able to know what your personality type is, and then we'll give you appropriate recommendation. Why am I finding it hard to share now? Something, you're welcome back. Apologies, I'm sharing again. Let me know if you can see my screen now. Is it up? You can see it now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I was explaining the personality assessment. You can't see it, something. Can you see
I can see it now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, so I will share this with you as Google form. You are going to just do the assessment. We are rounding up now. And the assessment would help us to know what your personality type is. Now, I just need to explain something. There's no hard and fast rule about all this. Some people, is like on a scale of 1 to 10. Even as we speak of intimidating humor, on a scale of 1 to 10, some people are in the middle, maybe on the scale of 5. Some are on the scale of 4. Some are on the scale of 7. Some are very high at it. So if you see yourself as intimidating humor, as I have described, there is high tendency that you do not see some of the characteristics that have been mentioned about intimidating humor in you. It is very possible. And this is so because you might have a blend of intimidating humor and systematic fraud. For instance, somebody like me, I am intimidating fraud. And how did I arrive at this? When you do your assessment, there's a way we calculate this. There are 12 questions in here. And if you divide 12 by 4 of the personality types, you have 3 questions in each. So each of the questions, each of the personality type carries 3 statements in all of these statements that you have in here. Okay, so when we do the scoring and we see that you are high, maybe for instance, for each of the personality type, the total score mark is 30 because each statement is like 10 marks. So, for instance, the first statement you scored 10, the second statement you scored 10, the next one you scored 7 or 8, meaning that you have 27 or 28. And then you do the next 3. In the next 3, you have 25. In the next 3, you have 18. In the next 3, you have 17. So if you were to do that scoring, it means that the first one that you are high on is intimidating humor, for instance, just an analogy. And the next to hit that you have developed so well in is creative convertible. Now, there's an acronym. Intimidating humor is high H. Creative convertible is CC. So if you are going to do like a matrix of these two now, the first figure, which is I in the high H, is I, which is intimidating. The second one, which is creative convertible, is CC. So the second word of that creative convertible is C. So it means that this person is going to be high C, meaning that the person is intimidating convertible. And that again means something which has its own blend, and it has its own strength and its own least developed areas. And based on all the assessment or the assessment that you take, will then be able to give you required recommendations that will help you up your game in the areas that you are least developed. But for the areas where you are developed, it just shows you the areas where you are highly prominent. All right. So now let me give room for questions. So today I will send you 2 assessments to fill, Google form to fill, personality assessment and love assessment. We have really not talked too well or too much about assessment of love today. But then let me speak to it before you then ask your question. We all know the love language by Gary Chapman. It is still the same love language. But then there are statements that we put up together that makes us
No.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hello, Mama.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you?
Yes, we
Okay.
lost you for some time after you finished sharing this thing.
You said what?
Yes, I can hear you, but we lost you at some point after you finished sharing this thing.
Okay, yes. Apologies.
I
I
lost you at
noticed
some
it.
point after you finished explaining the personality test.
Yes, I got that.
Point after you finished sharing.
Okay, so I was explaining how we calculate this personality assessment. So I said, even when, okay, now I've finished personality assessment, and then I was talking about love language. Did you hear me up to that? Did you hear me up until I was explaining about love language? Hello? Hello?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That was when you mentioned Gary Chapman.
Yes, so I was explaining to say that some people can score like 10, 10, 10, like my husband in whole. And I was like, how is your own like this now? But then it shows that he loves to be loved equally in all of those love languages. But some are not so. Some are dominant in some. Some, their own love language is words of affirmation. Some, their own love language is acts of service. For some, it is quality time. For some, it is giving of gifts. And for some, what's the last one now? Physical touch. I think I've mentioned that. Gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service. I think I've mentioned the whole 5. So some are dominant at some, while some are not. Some speaks to, meaning that they have a dominant one, they have the one that they also love to be loved. Now let me do a disclaimer to say that even when it appears to be that your partner's love language is words of affirmation, it does not mean that he or she does not love to be loved in the other 4 other love languages. Because it could change over time. Maybe for over a while now, you've not been giving her gifts because you think our love language is words of affirmation, or you've not been touching her as you should, or you've not been speaking the other love languages to her. So her love bank will be empty for those areas. So this particular time, she might want to be loved in those other areas of love. And one thing you should know about love language is that you should not speak your own love language to your partner. Rather, identify what your own love language is and make your partner know that this is how well you love to be loved. And for your partner, identify your partner's love language and love her the way or she wants to be loved. So it is not how I love to be loved. I should love my husband. It is how he perceives love that I should love him, and vice versa. Because this is mistake most people do in marital relationship. And another mistake is they feel, well, our love language is quality time. So I spend time with her. I do everything with her. I just spend time with her. You know, even while spending time with her, you might want to spend time with her, doing some things with her, and that's act of service. So it could be here and there. But then you just need to know what the prominent love language of your partner is and speak it often. Okay, so let me give room for questions. Questions, and then we'll call it quits for today. Is there any question? Question. I hope I can still be heard.
Okay, yeah, I have question.
Yes, you can see me.
All right. Please
Yeah,
ask.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. So for a person now, for example, can someone have two traits of a personality, like having this intimidating Oma and is also having that creative convertible as well? As in, can someone display those two kind of traits and characters?
Yes, it is possible. And I mentioned it while I was doing the presentation to say, for instance, hi, speaking with you, based on this analytic tool, I am intimidating Ford. That means I'm a blend of intimidating Homer and systematic Ford. So it means that if you look at the characteristics of the two,
Okay.
I am big at leadership. I like to make impact and add value. I don't like to wait my time to be wasted. I like to meet targets. And when you talk of the other parts, which is the Ford part, I like to I like to do all protocols. Like I like to follow all protocols. I don't like to be the one to break rules. And sometimes I'm critical at myself too. I could be on people around me because I want to deliver. So I'm a blend of the two. And this is why part of the weakness or area where they are least developed is that they are low on people's skill. And this is why personally I'm working on how to relate more with people. So, and I think it's clear now, right?
Yeah.
All right. Any other question? Uraola, do you have questions, Stephen? Any question?
Actually, one of my questions is
What question?
what has been asked.
Can you be more
Just
audible?
can you hear me now?
Yes, but very tiny.
Okay. I said one of the question I have is what has been asked just now.
Okay.
So the second one is it possible for a person's personality to change? Maybe the situation the person is feeling at that point in time, or the
I get your
fact that
question.
maybe there's a complaint, or what do I say?
So it's very possible for you to have what we call pseudo personality. And the resultant effect of you having a pseudo personality is based on the positive or the negative. Now, I'll give an example. For somebody who is dependable truck, who is laid back, who will not decide by himself to do things, or imagine that person as a little child. That's how the child is naturally. And a parent who have not mastered the personality type of this child will feel this child, you are just lazy around, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. See how the whole house is scattered, you are just freelancing here and there. And also, two things can happen to that child. The parent can understand the personality of that child and then decide to put in systems for the child to grow with that system. Since you are naturally not good at keeping your environment, following protocols and systems and routines, then the parents can decide to form daily routines, daily activities that will make the child master the act of following, meeting target, and also be that kind of person that looks like a systematic fraud. Now, when the child grows up with that kind of system, you will know that this is something not really natural with this person. But the person is naturally a creative convertible. But in a blend, you can see that this person is seeming like a dependable truck. Now, what's happening to this person? It is based on training. That's the positive part, meaning that that person have become better. So you only need to probe further to know why the person is the way the person is. Is it based on trauma or negative past experience or emotional significant experience that have happened to that person, or a positive training that have happened for that person that have made the person stand out as a pseudo personality? It's not to say that this person is off spec or this person is a bad person. If the person has a pseudo personality, and there are 4 of them, so I don't have them in my head here now, but there are 4 of them like that falls into pseudo personality type. And I think I've answered your question. Are you clear, Fura? Fura, are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Would that be all? Any feedback for me? While I'm waiting for feedback or any other question, please let's turn in our assessment. That's the only thing you can do for me to keep me going on this journey. I tell you, it's costing me my time, it's costing me a whole lot, sometimes sleepless nights, just so I can put up some things together. Please, and please, let's turn on the the assessment, because even after this whole session, there's nothing I want to recommend to you if you have not done it. And you notice that I shared a consent form with you. It is just so you know that your information is secured, so that I'm not using it for any personal thing or any public thing, whatever it is. The only thing you can see is this session is recorded, so you will find it on our YouTube channel for educating people. It's not like anything, but every of the personal details you'll be sharing with me on Google is secured. All right, thank you. Any feedback for me? Okay, in the absence
Yeah,
of none,
that's a very good.
it's okay.
It's
Somebody
good,
saying
sorry.
something.
Yeah, I just wanted to appreciate your effort. Really, sincerely I'm sure this is working, and just like the test we did today, is an indication of who you are, and essentially. And so to say that you, in my own language of, psychology, we say conscientious individual. So you are putting in so much effort to ensure that this is working out, and we sincerely appreciate. So just wanted to say thank you for your efforts. The 1 hour every week means a lot, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you too for that feedback. It's encouraging. All right, encourage me more, everyone, please, by sending in your assessment. Thank you. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye.